Okay, so now we're ready to talk about how we can center the text in the background rectangle or the background image. Basically, if we have a background image, then that's going to the image will automatically have its width and height set, and also just the plain old rectangle that we use for a background. If we just use the background color, that'll have a particular width and height, right? And we want to center the text. Right now, we're drawing the string at an x of 4 and a y of 20. But what we want to do is change these x, y's so that they're in the middle, either of this rectangle or of the rectangle that's associated with our background image. Okay, so we're looking for a new x, y. All right, so before we go into code though, let's take a little bit closer look at how what we need to do to calculate the center. So let's see here. If you look at this, is the way that the x and the y, we choose the x and the y for the string that we're going to do. So here's a frame. We can think of this as our rectangle that starts at 0, 0. This particular rectangle has a width of 300 and a height of 350. So this point down here would be 300, 350, because remember the y values get bigger as you go down. Okay, and here our x, y, our x is 60. The starting position for the text is an x of 60 and a y of 80. Okay, and the actual starting point is the bottom left corner of this h. Okay, that's the x, y for the text. So let's see if we're going to center some text. So I have this hello world, and let's say I want to move this hello world down into this rectangle, this yellow rectangle, and I want to center it in this yellow rectangle. Let's see. So I'm going to just draw a rectangle around here. And remember now, this bottom left corner, that's my xy for my string. And when I move this, it's not going to move the words, but I'm just trying to figure out where those words should go. So I want to center this rectangle. So this is the bright yellow rectangle. That's my text rectangle, and I want to center it inside this larger yellow rectangle. Okay, so basically I want these middle dots to line up with the middle of the bigger rectangle, right? So how do we do that? Okay, so let's think about that. I'm going to open up a file here and make it so you can see the text. Oh, I think I'll make it bigger than that. All right, and I want to move that up a little bit. Okay, so now we can see our yellow box. So let's say that our rectangle width, this larger outside yellow rectangle, let's say the width of that rectangle is 300. And let's say this box right here, this text box, let's say the text width is 200. Okay, so what we want to do, like I said, we want to line up this halfway point for this box with the halfway point of the bigger yellow box. So let's see what would be halfway for the rectangle, for that big rectangle. Well, if the width is 300, then this halfway point, this is 0, and this is 300, so the halfway point is going to be 150, or 300 divided by 2, right? The halfway point for the text, so for the text, this is our 0, 0 for the text, right? This is our 0, 0 for the rectangle. This is our 0, 0 for the text. So the width of the text box, this goes from 0 to 200. The halfway point is 200 divided by 2, right? Okay. So then that means the x point for the text, this point right here, is going to be the halfway point. It's going to be this point minus half the width of this text rectangle, right? So this point in the bigger rectangle is 300 divided by 2, and then we're going to subtract off this half of the text box, minus 200 divided by 2, right? And so another way actually to think about that is we could write that as 300 minus 200 divided by 2. That's kind of a shorter way to write it. Write the same thing, right? So 300 divided by 2 is 150. 200 divided by 2 is 100. So 150 divided by 100 is 50, right? Or we could just say 300 minus 200, that's 100, and divided by 2 is 50. Okay, so either way, we're doing it the same way. So this 300 divided by 2 minus 200 divided by 2 equals the same thing. Okay, so that's another way of writing the same thing. Okay, and we can basically go through a similar process for the y point for the text. Okay, so for the y point for the text, we want to get this point down here. Let's see, so if we say, right, so that's, if we get this halfway point, do I want to add or subtract? I'm gonna leave it as a subtraction and see how that looks. I think it's gonna be a subtraction. So we'll you know, subtract we'll do the same thing for the y point that we did for the x point and see how that looks. If it looks funky, then we'll revisit it. But let's see. Okay, so I'm going to go into here, and so now instead of the 420, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my image width, and oh, you know what I need to do though is how do we get that box for the text? How do we figure out exactly how long that bit of text is? And that is something that we'll do in the next video.